Thanks to DYNAMITE, we have a review of Ben 10 issue 2 where I try to share my perspective, telling you a bit about how I experienced it. Because let me tell you, this particular issue gives you a lot of different feelings. This video doesn't contain spoilers, but it does include a compilation of things that have already been discussed on the channel, along with an epic script like I usually do. So if you haven't bought the comic yet and want to discover it for yourself, I recommend saving this video for later and watching the narrated comic number 1, which I'll leave up here for you. Comic number 2 officially premieres on Wednesday, June 10th. With all that said, I'll be quiet for a month and let's get started. The story of Ben 10 comic number 2 will be shown to us from 3 different versions of the events. Since in the first comic, after the Omnitrix arrived on Earth and was used by Ben, he, along with Gwen and Grandpa Max, went their separate ways. The comic begins with Gwen, who, having no idea where her cousin and her grandfather are, starts to feel a bit guilty about what might happen to them. While she tries to pass the time and avoid such thoughts, she discovers many strange things in the camper. First, she realizes it's not a normal camper. And second, that her grandfather is hiding something very important from her. This is a great hook because it shows us that Gwen won't just be the cousin and that's it. Her intelligence and her ability to analyze things will make her a respectable member of the group. The second perspective comes directly from Ben, who is still transformed into fire. He takes some time to think. He knows that none of this is normal. A few hours ago, he was a 4-armed alien, and now he's literally made of flames. Many things are going through his mind, and the confusion will start to cause him problems. This, even though it may not seem important, is going to cause him a lot of trouble. Ben is going to suffer in an unimaginable and inexplicable way. It's clear that the comic is going to go much deeper into these kinds of consequences and how the user reacts to them. Ben is crying. Seeing him lying in the middle of the forest asking for help and wishing to go back home is really intense. Seriously. Third, we have Grandpa Max's perspective as he was searching the forest for Ben. Unfortunately, he ends up getting into serious trouble, and the way Grandpa Max reacts to this situation, believe me, is truly admirable. His calm attitude really reminds me a lot of Constantine. In case you don't know him, he's just an ordinary human. Thanks to his smooth talking, he's been able to trick a lot of powerful beings and entities from other dimensions. With such a calm attitude, he gets what he wants. And this is really well reflected in Grandpa Max. Seriously. I'm really glad to see him looking so goth. Right at the end of the first comic, Bill Vilgax had finally located the Omnitrix on Earth, and he had sent his closest henchman. To everyone's surprise, this is Krabs. And let me tell you, what a villain we have here. I have to emphasize that overbearing and arrogant attitude he has. He looks down on Earth and everything on it. Seriously, the comic perfectly conveys that feeling. Also, I don't know why. But while I was reading it, I imagined a robotic voice in my head. The comic generates a lot of emotions in you, and that's excellently represented. As the story arcs were coming to a close, Ben had little time left, and no matter how sad and confused he was, he had to keep going. The military was getting closer and closer. Did everyone hear that? Move! That must be our target. Take it down! The military was shooting at everything that moved. The situation was extremely dangerous for him. That's why the Omnitrix, it started to emit warning signals that made Ben transform again. While he was doing this, the military had tracked him with some kind of machine. They were close, but it didn't matter. By then, Cannonball had already appeared. The Omnitrix had given him an escape alien. Without thinking, Ben rolled out of that place. Now everything seems to make more sense. The Omnitrix is on Ben's side. And it's really surprising how he adapts to the aliens almost instantly. He didn't go through that trouble he had in the original series, where he couldn't even walk properly. I know the situations are different, yeah. This one is escaping from something super dangerous, and the other one was just there, in the middle of nowhere, that's it. But there's something about this Omnitrix that makes it feel different. The enemies also feel different. Krabs is gonna come and claw everything that moves. Right here, we're gonna see something we've never seen before in Ben 10. This is unbelievable. I was shocked by what happened. This shows that DYNAMITE, the Mave of Action team, and the artist Robert Carey are giving Ben 10 a well-deserved recognition, taking these characters to extremes that, as I said, have never been seen before in the series. The ending is unsettling because some paths will start to cross, and Ben will get completely unexpected help. This is where issue 2 ends. The ending is quite unsettling, since it leaves several very interesting elements for the next issue. Since this is a spoiler-free video, that's the most I can tell you, believe me. I've kept the best of the best to myself, and if this video gets a lot of love, you'll get the full narrated comic on Wednesday. Absolutely everything. My rating for issue 2 would be a 10 personally. I can tell you that this comic left me with a lot of feelings. Once I finished reading it, I said, this can't end here. There needs to be more. I mean, I needed it right away. I mean, part 3 right now. I even thought the comic was a little short, but no. It has the same number of pages as issue 1, which shows they're doing an incredible job with this comic, making you want the next one, and the next one, and the next one. Seriously, it's really good. One of the things that surprised me the most in this issue is how deeply they're developing the characters. In the original series, it was all about aliens, adventures, laughs, and fights, but not here. The comic tries to share the characters' feelings with you, with things we once saw as normal, like an object from space attaching to your wrist. I could tell you that the character who turned out best in this comic was Grandpa Max. He's in God mode, dropping facts and making everyone do the work for him. Now I understand what they said in the interview. Grandpa Max is gonna have a lot of lines, and if it's gonna be like this, then he deserves a round of applause. The darker tone fits this franchise perfectly. There are moments where you can really feel the confusion, the fear, and the desperation of the characters. And honestly, I think it makes all of this feel much more human. This is becoming one of the comic's greatest strengths, and it fits the essence of Ben 10 perfectly. Because let's remember that this is still Ben 10. It doesn't feel dark just for the sake of being dark. It feels dark because it's exploring the consequences of a situation. If you really think about it, they would be pretty terrifying. If this video gets a lot of love, on Wednesday you'll have the narrated comic. Remember? I'll leave you the links so you can buy them in the description and pinned in a comment. I already got mine with the metallic version, which is beautiful. Seriously, what are you waiting for to get yours?